Allah is my heart's speech. Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen allow me to advance. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test. Help me in my quest. Permit me to pass the ultimate test.
السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله والصلاة والسلام على نبيه ومصطفاه سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه ومن والاه وبعد. Brothers and sisters, welcome to another live edition of your program Ask Huda. Our phone number should be the same, in addition to certain new numbers which basically are designed for those who would like to financially support the channel. I guess there will be a charge for these phone numbers, like if you're calling from within Egypt, landline will be 09000640, and cell phone will be 5904. And if you're calling from outside of Egypt, that is 0088-216-1010-17. So the number which is 0088-216-1010-17, if you're calling from out of the country, or long distance, this is also to support the channel and support the programs. Otherwise, we still do have the landline, the free line, which is area code 00202-3855-249, and the other cell phone number, which is area code 002 then 01125008679, and the email address is ask@huda.tv, and my Facebook page is Dr. Muhammad Salah Official. Without any further ado, brothers and sisters, I would like to begin by answering some of the questions which I received on the page. The first question is sent by Salman Ahmad. Brother Salman says, we have set up a cricket ground somewhere. The idea is to rent out the ground for an income. We have a proposal from a tournament organizer who wants to arrange a tournament for a number of teams. They have asked us if they can play their own music in the ground, and this is their condition to rent the ground. Is that permissible? If you remember that normally I begin answering questions similar to that, like can I rent a shop or a flat, to those whom I know that they would use it or utilize it to serve what is forbidden. And I'm not serving what is forbidden. I'm just renting out the property to somebody, and I don't care how will they use it. That is not true, and that is not permissible, because Allah the Almighty said in the second ayah of Surah Al-Ma'idah, وَتَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْبِرِّ وَالتَّقْوَى وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ. This is not mere recommendation, that's a command, not to help those who are doing what is wrong, what is forbidden, not to assist in a person in committing sins. وَلَا تَعَاوَنُوا, do not assist one another, عَلَى الْإِثْمِ وَالْعُدْوَانِ, on doing what is sin and transgression. And if you understand that this is something forbidden, then you're not allowed to rent it to somebody who will use it to serve what is forbidden or to propagate what is forbidden, if you know that beforehand and in advance. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Our first caller, Sister Hamza. Assalamu alaikum from the KSA. Hamza, welcome to Ask Huda.
Alaikum assalam, Sheikh. How are you?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking, Sister Hamza.
Brother, I have only two questions. First, I want to know if you can give me a website, refer to me a website which someone who is coming for the pilgrimage of Umrah can use, which is like authentic, which has all the do's and don'ts and everything that needs to be done, the supplications and everything. But we just need an authentic website that has everything, if you can refer to something.
Okay.
And my second question is, if a family does a function and they slaughter like a sheep or two and invite their own relatives and neighbors, and they say in the name of Allah so that He saves us from any evil or something like that, or an ailment, is it okay to go on such invitations?
Okay.
That's it.
Okay. Thank you, Sister Hamza. Sister Hamza asked if some people slaughter a sheep with the intention of healing or with the intention of protecting oneself against evil and distributing that in a charity. Is that permissible? Or inviting guests at home such as family members and having a gathering, is that permissible? It is permissible, and this is a form of charity. Hosting the guests and giving them an honorable hospitality is an act of worship if you intend so. The Prophet ﷺ said, "Man kana yu'minu billahi wal yawmil akhir falyukrim ضيفه." Let whoever believes in Allah and in the last day to honor his guest, and if this is your intention. And we've explained over several episodes in the program of Gardens of the Pious that whatever you spend on your family members, of food, of clothes, of medication, of school tuitions, or whatever, provided you intend that and you anticipate the reward from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, is a charity from you, is an act of charity from you. I tend to forget the first question, but hopefully I will remember it, inshallah, in a little bit. Perhaps the brothers in the control can remind me with Hamza's first question. Okay, by the time they do, inshallah. Naam. Sister Hamza was asking about a website that can explain how to perform Umrah and Hajj and all the do's and the don'ts from the Quran and the Sunnah. There are many websites, and I may recommend to you to watch our program, which is called Hajj Step by Step, because it deals with that exactly. Few short episodes, but it covers how to do and how to perform Hajj and Umrah from beginning to end, and what is right and what is wrong, and all the authentic supplications according to the sound ahadith of the Prophet ﷺ. The program is called Hajj Step by Step, and there is also another program by Huda which is called Why Hajj. You will find the program very entertaining because also it has some video clips which will assist you and walk you through to know exactly what we're talking about. Because when it comes to Hajj and Umrah, we understand that most Muslims, when they perform Hajj or Umrah, this is their very first time and it could be their last time. So we do not expect every Muslim to be an expert on Hajj. And since we say in fiqh, al-hukmu ala shay'i far'un an tasawwurihi, in order to give a ruling or a judgment on anything, you have to imagine it first. So when I talk about praying behind Maqam Ibrahim and praying in the Hijr and doing tawaf outside the Hijr and all of that, you definitely need some visual aids. In the past, we used to draw sketches and have images, but now with the video, it explains it all. So I highly recommend the sister, inshallah, you watch the program Hajj Step by Step by Huda TV. Adila Hajat. Adila says, many places use halal certification. How to ensure it is halal? And also halal meat is very expensive, more expensive than the non-halal meat. So what do you advise? Tell me more about what happens if I eat a non-halal meat. Would that affect my iman? First of all, Allah the Almighty forbade us to consume the flesh of anything which is not halal. The animal itself could be lawful to eat its flesh, its meat, but because it was not sacrificed, it was not slaughtered properly, it was rather killed, such as إنما حرم عليكم الميتة والدم ولحم الخنزير. So al-mayta is an animal such as a cow or a sheep, a chicken or a goat, halal to eat their meat. But this animal was not slaughtered or was not slaughtered in the name of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Rather, it was slaughtered under the name of any other than Allah. Or it was not slaughtered, yani rather it was killed. Then it's not permissible to eat it. It's like eating pork. What will happen to a believer whenever he or she eats pork? That's haram. Would that affect their iman? Of course that would affect their iman. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Afdal from Senegal. Afdal, assalamu alaikum.
Sheikh, I have a question for you. I'm 18 years old and I'm worried about, attaining success in the future. If there's anything I can do or see or do that will help.
Yeah, Akhi Afdal, I have a difficulty understanding your question. Can you clarify your question? Raise your voice a little bit, please.
Yeah, I would like to know any du'as that I can see to help with attaining success.
Dua to assist you in what? In what condition? To achieve what?
In achieving success.
I'm sorry, to do what?
To get like success.
Oh, to get success in business, in education, in getting married?
In life, yeah.
In life. Okay, definitely. The first dua that would come to my mind, and the best dua is taken from an ayah of Surah Al-Baqarah. The dua says, رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. That's it. That is the best dua. Brother Afdal from Senegal asked about a dua to grant him success in life, in business, in everything. Our Lord, grant us a goodly reward in this life. Grant us success in business, in education, in raising the children, or in finding first a good spouse, in finding a good job, in success in every field in this life. وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً, and give us a goodly reward in the hereafter. And this comprehensive dua is certainly recommended by Allah Himself, and He admires those who would utilize this dua to invoke Him for success or a goodly reward in this dunya and in the hereafter. وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ, and protect us against the fire of hell. This dua, as Allah the Almighty says, أُولَٰئِكَ لَهُمْ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا كَسَبُوا وَاللَّهُ سَرِيعُ الْحِسَابِ. So Allah the Almighty, when He criticized those who only demand from Allah success in the dunya, in business and trade, and they don't ask Allah for any success in the hereafter, such people are blameworthy. فَمِنَ النَّاسِ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيَا وَمَا لَهُ فِي الْآخِرَةِ مِنْ خَلَقٍ وَمِنْهُمْ مَنْ يَقُولُ رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. أُولَٰئِكَ, such people, لَهُمْ نَصِيبٌ مِّمَّا كَسَبُوا وَاللَّهُ سَرِيعُ الْحِسَابِ. So Allah admires them, and He said that their dua shall be answered, and Allah is swift in reckoning. Barakallahu fikum. The dua again is رَبَّنَا آتِنَا فِي الدُّنْيا حَسَنَةً وَفِي الْآخِرَةِ حَسَنَةً وَقِنَا عَذَابَ النَّارِ. The Quran is also full of supplications. Look at the beautiful supplications towards the end of Surah Al-Imran. رَبَّنَا إِنَّنَا سَمِعْنَا مُنَادِيًا يُنَادِي لِلْإِيمَانِ أَنْ آمِنُوا بِرَبِّكُمْ فَآمَنَّا رَبَّنَا فَاغْفِرْ لَنَا ذُنُوبَنَا وَكَفِّرْ عَنَّا سَيِّئَاتِنَا وَتَوَفَّنَا مَعَ الْأَبْرَارِ رَبَّنَا وَآتِنَا مَا وَعَدتَّنَا عَلَى رُسُلِكَ وَلَا تُخْزِنَا يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ إِنَّكَ لَا تُخْلِفُ الْمِيعَادِ. The dua by the end of Surah Al-Furqan. رَبَّنَا هَبْ لَنَا مِنْ أَزْوَاجِنَا وَذُرِّيَّاتِنَا قُرَّةَ أَعْيُنٍ وَاجْعَلْنَا لِلْمُتَّقِينَ إِمَامًا. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Amin from the KSA. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Amin.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. I have just one prayer request for my mother who passed away a few months ago. Many times my mother, she asked me to call, ask Huda, and she asked me to ask questions on her behalf. she loved Huda TV very much, and she loved this, and she supported this channel with all her heart, and she encouraged others to support it as well. I would just like to request you and all those who are watching to please remember her in your prayers.
Absolutely, absolutely, Sister May Allah the Almighty have mercy on her, and may Allah grant you a great deal of patience. May Allah make her grave a garden of paradise and take her to heaven. May Allah forgive her all her sins and double the reward for her good deeds. Ameen. And we love you all, brothers and sisters, for the sake of Allah. This is the first time to get a message from the dead. Somebody passed away 3 months ago, and her daughter is calling to deliver the wasiyah of her mother. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala bless you all. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Kifah from the UK. Kifah from London. Assalamu alaikum.
Yes, from London, yeah.
Sister Kifah. Assalamu alaikum.
Sheikh, I have one question and 2 requests, please.
Yes.
The first question is my younger brother, he wanted to get a hair transplant, not for medical reasons, but for vanity. So he said he checked and Islamically it's okay, but he doesn't have the Islamic training to research this, and he didn't speak to a knowledgeable person. So I wanted to know, what does the Deen say about this?
Okay.
And my request is, there's a sister in London who's been diagnosed with leukemia, so I was wondering if you can make a dua for her, and inshallah may Allah accept.
What is her name, Sister Kifah?
Her name is Rafia.
Rafia.
Rafia Khan.
Rafia Khan.
Yeah, and
yes.
the second request is, I'm very heavily pregnant, so I was wondering, please can you make a dua for me as well, so everybody watching, inshallah, can say Ameen, and may Allah make it easy for me and all the other sisters in my position.
Ameen. Insha'Allah. Insha'Allah. May Allah give a quick recovery to Sister Rafia Khan. May Allah give her shifa. And may Allah double her reward for her patience on the sickness. Allahumma ameen. May Allah relieve her from her pain. Ameen. Ameen. May Allah make it easy for you, Sister Kifah, to give birth to a beautiful and healthy and righteous child. Ameen. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Sister Fatima from Bahrain.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, Sheikh.
Wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Sheikh, Surah Al-Baqarah, ayah number 61. وَضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ وَالْمَسْكَنَةُ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. Sheikh, I was doing my tafsir on this, and then I came across this hadith where the Prophet ﷺ told us that the scholars of my nation are like the prophets of the children of Israel. Can you please comment on this hadith and this ayah?
طيب. First of all, Sister Kifah asked about hair restoration for her brother, and is it permissible or not? Yes, it is permissible, because this is not changing the creation of Allah. This is rather restoring the original image. And the hair transplant is basically from his own head, from one area to another, so that is permissible. Sister Fatima from Bahrain asked about ayah number 61 of Surah Al-Baqarah. I wish we can have it on the screen as well. وَضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. This ayah is pertaining some of the children of Israel. Because of what? Because of disbelief in Allah's ayat, and because of killing some of their prophets. As Allah the Almighty mentioned in the same ayah, that He casts upon them the humiliation and disgrace. As far as the hadith which you mentioned, that the scholars of this ummah are like the prophets of Bani Israel, I cannot verify the authenticity of the hadith right now, but it means that because the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would not have any prophet after him, and the scholars of this ummah are the ears of this message, as the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said in the other sound hadith, إن الأنبياء لم يورثوا دينارا ولا درهما وإنما ورثوا العلم. The prophets did not leave behind any wealth to be inherited, but the only wealth that they left for inheritance is knowledge. And whoever inherits this knowledge, he is following their footsteps and on the same path. Wallahu ta'ala a'la wa a'lam. Sister Adila was asking, I answered the later part of her question, what will happen when somebody eats meat which he knows that it is not halal. And we said the ayah. And as far as the certifications, some shops have the certificate of halal. Would that mean that I'm okay to eat at this restaurant immediately, or do I have to investigate? What needs to be investigated is the organization, the entity which issues the certificate. Who's running this organization? And what do they do? It is not something to be taken for granted. Anyone opens a business because they charge $50 per month from each store would hang this certificate, then the store can sell whatever they want to sell. That is not sufficient. But if this organization is approved by your local imams, by your local Islamic organizations, and the members, and the founders of this organization which issues the certificate are trustworthy, and what they do is they surprise the shops and the stores to inspect the meat. What kind of meat is it? Where was it slaughtered at? Halal or haram? Then in this case, you're free to enjoy the meal, which meat is served, and the sign says halal, that's halal. What if it is not halal? Well, I've done my best. I've done my part, and I do not know the unseen. Okay? If I visit a Muslim's house and he offers me lunch or dinner and it says, eat, this is halal, I will eat it. What if it is not halal? I don't know. So for me it is halal, and for him he is blameworthy. A few years ago they inspected many shops and many stores, and they found not only in the halal meat stores, but also all over Europe, that there is like about 25% of horse meat in the ground beef. And this is a dilemma. Cheating in countries where there is a liability, there is accountability, and something similar to that happened a few years ago in North America. Then they inspected the meat of certain food, such as the shawarma meat, and they found that there is even pork meat in it. When I go to a halal meat restaurant, it says halal, and this organization which issues a certificate is trustworthy, and the imams in your country, let's say in the UK, say that's okay. Once they have the certificate, they inspect the stores. So I go and I eat. I'm not blameworthy whatsoever. Barakallahu feekum. Brother or Sister Mubina Khan says, I would like to know if there is a limit to a profit made by selling something in business. I buy something for 500 Saudi Riyal, for instance, and I sell it for 1,000 or 1,500. Is that permissible? Yes, it is permissible, provided that it is clear to both parties, particularly the buyer. This is my price, this is my goods or commodity, and he is aware of the market prices, so he is not deceived or cheated. If he knows what is going on, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala says, إِلَّا أَن تَكُونَ تِجَارَةً عَن تَرَاضٍ مِّنكُمْ. So if there is an agreement, إِجَابًا قبول, I have seen the commodity, I agree to the price, then even if the profit is 100%, 200%, 300%, and the proof, I will mention it in a little bit after this call, inshallah. Assalamu alaikum. Sister Fatima from West Africa.
Barakallahu feekum. Hello. Brother, Sister Mubina.
Unbelievable.
Hello?
MashaAllah. The delay is like 2 minutes. I hear my answering to the previous question. I don't think I will be able to take your question this way. We have to wait for another couple minutes. Can you collect the question, please, from Sister Fatima from West Africa? That's a long delay, subhanallah. Okay. One of the Sahaba, the Prophet ﷺ, gave him a dinar and he said, go and buy a sheep. So he went to the market and he found somebody who's offering 2 sheep for a dinar. So he bought them after bargaining for 1 dinar. On the way home, somebody offered him, would you sell me one of your 2 sheep? He said, how much? He said, I will pay 1 dinar. He said, okay. So he sold one of them for 1 dinar. So now, he collected back the dinar that he took from the Prophet ﷺ to purchase the sheep. And he also has a sheep. So when he went to the Prophet ﷺ and he gave him, here is your dinar and here is your sheep. He said, how did you do that? So he told him. So the Prophet ﷺ prayed for him, Allahumma barik lahu fi safqati yamini. Oh, Allah bless him in whatever business he does. He said, later on, if I invest in dirt, it will be gold, because of the dua of the Prophet ﷺ. The catch in the hadith that the Prophet ﷺ have seen, there is a Prophet here 100%, and he approved that. There is ijaba and qabul. The person have seen the goods, agreed to the price, and he's in the market. He's not like, disconnected from the world, does not know the prices. No, they're in the market, all the prices are available, and there's bargaining, and he agreed to pay that much price. Brothers and sisters, we're going to take a short break, and we'll be back inshallah in a few minutes. Please stay tuned.
Assalamu alaikum. Good evening. Welcome to another live edition of Huda Tonight. This program provides some of the latest news and information from around the Muslim world, and also discussions about topics that are important for Muslim life.
Brothers and sisters, the Islamic perspective on divorce. It's an outlet which Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has made halal for any relationship that has gone sour or an abusive relationship. But this principle of divorce has its rules and has its procedures.
For our first news item for the news segment tonight, we're going to go to the United States, the state of Kansas, the Muslim community there in the United States, the state of Kansas. The city is Kansas City.
Talk is communication. In order to communicate, you have to make sure that exactly you tell or you told the other or the partner the real thing about yourself.
Tonight we're going to talk about, inshallah, Abdullah ibn Abbas. And what I wanted to start off with, we all know that he was very young when the Prophet ﷺ passed away. So let's start from the beginning.
Huda TV is pleased to announce the launching of its first mobile phone application on all iOS and Android-based devices. Browse your phone store for our new app under the name of Huda TV. Huda app delivers a bunch of amazing and versatile services to our fans and viewers worldwide. You can watch our live streaming on the move, surf our large archive of categorized articles, benefit from our daily supplications Askar that every Muslim should recite throughout the day. Just tap on any item of the Askar list and it will take you to the specific supplication it indicates to. Need to know the broadcast time of your favorite program? Just click to broadcast schedule for specific details. Huda app allows users to browse the gems of Huda TV website, where they can enjoy our telemedia services by watching thousands of video clips, plenty of audio clips featuring invocations, nasheeds, and audio themes of our favorite programs. Go back to the index page and check upon what is going on at Huda TV by visiting ever-updated Huda News. Get to know the profiles of Huda stars and never forget to tap on our behind the scenes button for exploring our backstage activities. It's also worthy to check upon Huda's pages on social media websites and enjoy our awesome posts and sharing. Download Huda TV's app now and live our world of authentic Islamically themed educational knowledge. Huda TV brings light to every smartphone.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, and welcome back. We have a caller, Sister Sophia from United Arab Emirates.
Assalamu alaikum.
Alaikum assalam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome to Ask Huda.
Thank you, Sheikh. How are you?
Fine, alhamdulillah. Thank you for asking.
Sheikh, please, I have two questions regarding divorce, please.
Yeah, go ahead.
Sorry?
Yes, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Okay. Actually, I'm very confused about the Idda period because is it after once the divorce is pronounced that I have to go through that Idda period, or is it before? And also, I want to know that it's been 2 months he did not come home, which means basically it's been 2 cycles already. So, and for sure I'm not pregnant. For sure he's not looking for reconciliation. So this period, can it count as Idda even if we are not divorced?
Okay. Barakallah
Okay.
feek.
And the second question, actually I'm in a plural marriage, which means I'm a second wife. And all these problems came across because he was not able to manage between two homes, right? So after all this time, now he has a balance towards me of more than 20 days, like it's almost 1 month balance of nights and time and everything. So we just want to know what's the hikmah of this. So do I have just to give it up and say I forgive him, or because what's the point of him coming home, just sleeping in another room just to give back the balance?
Okay. Barakallah fiki, Sister Fatima or Sophia from United Arab Emirates. I get your question. As far as the Iddah, Allah the Almighty says in the Quran, وَالْمُطَلَّقَاتُ يَتَرَبَّصْنَ بِأَنفُسِهِنَّ ثَلَاثَةَ قُرُوء. For women who experience the menses, Allah the Almighty judged their waiting period after their divorce 3 periods or 3 purifications after the period. During this time he said, لا يحل لهن أن يكتمن ما خلق الله في أرحامهن. Should any of whom is pregnant during this time, should not conceal that she is pregnant. But, you know, the wisdom behind it is not only clarifying that the woman is not pregnant. Read afterward. وَبُعُولَتُهُنَّ أَحَقُّ بِرَدِّهِنَّ فِي ذَلِكَ إِنْ أَرَادُوا إِصْلَاحًا. If the husband decided to take back his wife whom he divorced after the first and the second divorce, to take her back to his marriage life, he has all the right to do that, even without her consent and without her guardian's agreement and without a new marriage contract, because there is still having a marriage relationship. So this is also another reason for the iddah, a chance for reconciliation. And some people think it is only because of the clearance of the womb that she is not pregnant, and since I'm not pregnant or I don't experience the period, Allah Almighty said in Surah Al-Talaq, وَاللَّائِي يَئِسْنَ مِنَ الْمَحِيضِ مِن نِسَائِكُمْ فَعِدَّتُهُنَّ ثَلَاثَةُ أَشْهُرٍ وَاللَّائِي لَمْ يَحِضْ. So it could be a woman who is in her menopause and it is not expected that she would conceive. So what is the purpose of waiting for the iddah? I'm on my own, can I get married soon after I'm divorced? No, the iddah must be observed. وَاللَّائِي لَمْ يَحِضْنَ, for a reason or another, if a woman does not experience the period whatsoever. وَاللَّائِي يَئِسْنَ مِنَ الْمَحِيضِ مِنْ نِسَائِكُمْ إِنْ ارْتَبْتُمْ فَعِدَّتُهُنَّ, the iddah will be in this case 3 months. And similarly, women who do not have the period yet. Okay? If the woman is pregnant, the iddah will be prolonged, because Allah the Almighty said in the same ayah, ayah number 4 of Surah Al-Talaq, وَأُولَاتُ الْأَحْمَالِ أَجَلُهُنَّ, the iddah now would not be 3 periods nor 3 months, rather is to give birth. Keep in mind, that could be for 9 months, it will be prolonged for 9 months. And it could be an hour after divorce. Somebody divorced his wife when she was pregnant, and she gave birth soon after divorce, the iddah is over. This is what Allah the Almighty said. So it is not up to us to say, since my husband was away for a year, he's in another country, and he just gave me divorce, which means I haven't been intimate with him for so long. Like the sister just said, for 2 months he hasn't been with me, he hasn't come home. Would that be possible to waive or deduct this time from the period? No. From the time the husband actually makes the divorce, not before, even if they had not been intimate whatsoever. As far as al-adala, or what you call it, keep in balance, this is something, it is not like 50-50, because sometimes a wife may agree, if she's a second wife, to settle for 2 days a week, because this gentleman has a big family, has a bunch of kids, and his mother is staying with his first wife, or for whatever reason. So she agrees to a certain time. Fine, if this is their prenuptial agreement. As long as he fulfills the rest of the huquq. When the wife agrees from the beginning to give up on some of her rights, that is permissible. So each case really have to be handled individually. But we advise every person who happen to have more than one wife to be just and fair in treating his spouses, as Allah the Almighty said in the Quran, to the best of his ability, of course. Now, before I forget, there was a question before the break about the ayah which says وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ وَضُرِبَتْ عَلَيْهِمُ الذِّلَّةُ وَالْمَسْكَنَةُ وَبَاءُوا بِغَضَبٍ مِّنَ اللَّهِ. Then the hadith which the sister said, I read in this context, which says that the scholars of my ummah are like the prophets of Bani Israel. In the previous segment I said I cannot verify the authenticity of this hadith, I've never heard of it. And I managed to verify it. It's not even a hadith. It is not even a hadith. And the prophets are superior to any of the righteous people, including the ulama of this ummah. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Fatima from West Africa. Okay, try for the 3rd time, inshallah, it may work. Barakallah fikum. All right. What is the following question here? Yes. Sister Subia Hashmat says, after doing aerobics for a few years, my back pain aggravated, so I switched to yoga. I have read that it is haram, and the only chant that they say is Om, but I say Shahada instead. I can even leave before that, inshallah. In sun salutation, they stretch and they do not say anything. Can I continue this exercise? The question is kind of long. I'm glad that you know that there is some sort of sun salutation. You know, yoga is an ancient spiritual healing, an ancient Indian act of worship to the sun. And you mentioned that you're aware of that when you said that there's sun salutation. And this chantation that they chant, when you translate them, you'll find that it is words of worship to a supreme God. This is some sort of idolism and paganism, worshipping other than Allah the Almighty, worshipping a creature. The sun is one of the creation of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. and it is done at certain times, and it is done in certain. One of the positions in yoga is to place 8 body parts against the ground. What do we do in our sujood? We must place 7 body parts. What is the 8th in yoga? The chest. Assalamu alaikum, Sister Fatima. I'll continue inshallah after this call because she tried for the 3rd time. Fatima, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
That's much better. Go ahead.
Okay, can you hear me, Sheikh?
Perfectly.
Okay, I have I think 3 questions, if I can.
Yeah.
The first one, the adhkar of sleeping. I'd like to know if it's wajib to recite 3 times the 3 kuls, Kul Wallahu, Nas, and Falak.
Yeah.
If it is, what is the sunnah of reciting? Do you recite it once, you wipe over your body, or that makes 3 wiping, or you recite all of them at the same time and wipe once?
Okay.
And okay, the second question, if a woman is wearing jilbab, the correct Islamic hijab, jilbab, except but showing the face only, and if she wants to cover the face but the husband does not like that, what is the ruling in Islam? Does she have to obey her husband, or
okay, so what does,
and then it's going to break up the marriage?
What does her
and
husband?
The third question, it's about pictures, please, because I've seen on some YouTube videos that pictures are forbidden, but when I go to Facebook, most of the imams or dais, even you have your profile pictures there. So I'd like to know what is the correct ruling for taking pictures and posting them on Facebook for both men and women?
Sister Fatima, can you hear me? Okay, no problem. Sister Fatima has 3 questions with regards to the adhkar before going to sleep and the recitation of al-mu'awwidhat, Qul huwallahu ahad, Qul a'udhu birabbil falaq, and Qul a'udhu birabbin nas. She's asking about the format and when to blow and how many times. When you recite the entire set, the 3 consecutive chapters, Qul huwallahu ahad, then Qul a'udhu birabbil falaq, and Qul a'udhu birabbin nas, while summoning your palms like that, you recite in them, then you blow thrice after the recitation of the 3 chapters. Then you start wiping over your face, over your head, and over your body as far as you can reach. You do that 3 times. Whatever I just mentioned will be repeated 3 times. Okay. The jilbab. You say that a woman wants to wear the jilbab and she wants to wear a proper hijab, but the husband said, if you wear this, you will be divorced. What I wanted to ask you, Sister Fatima, what does he want her to wear? If he wants her to wear any form of clothes which cover the awrah and approved, because there is no specific dress code like you have to wear this. Some people call it aba'a, some women wear khimar and aba'a, an outer garment. I've seen the Malaysian girls in Al-Azhar University, the students, very modest. They are not covering their faces, they are not wearing niqab, but very modest and perfectly covered, wearing loose clothes. I highly respect that. So when there is an area of what is permissible, or whenever there is a difference of opinion, such as covering the face, for instance, so I wouldn't resort for a divorce. But when he says, I like you to wear pants, jeans, blouses, wear makeup, be modern, I say, I'm sorry, I'm not going to do that. You know what? If you don't listen to me, I want to see part of your hair showing. I want to see you wearing those colorful and tight clothes because, it makes me proud of you. This man is not, may Allah guide him. May Allah guide him. So even if it comes for divorce, because this is a sign of really giving preference to Allah and what He wants from you over anything else. And the Prophet ﷺ said, لا يؤمن أحدكم حتى أكون أحب إليه من ماله ونفسه وولده والناس أجمعين. None of you would be a perfect believer, truly believe, unless if I become dearer to him than himself, his wealth, his son, his family, his children, and all mankind, giving preference to Allah and what he wants, loving Allah and His Messenger sallallahu alaihi wasallam more than anyone else, including yourself, is a sign of faith. This is one of the most troubling questions I get, because sometimes when I know, but your question is kind of easier. Sometimes the sister says, my husband wants me to take the hijab off. My husband wants me to attend his business meeting, business dinner with his colleagues, business partners, and shake hands with them and talk to them. I would not hesitate to ask the sister, if your husband is insistent on doing that, he's not worth living with. He's not worth living with. إذ تبرأ الذين اتبعوا من الذين اتبعوا ورأوا العذاب وتقطعت بهم الأسباب. It is not an excuse to say that, well, I was just fulfilling orders. لا طاعة لمخلوق في معصية الخالق. No creature should be obeyed on account of disobeying the Creator. I want to go back to the yoga practice and whether it is a regular exercise. No, it is not a regular exercise. And what you heard about the ruling in Islam concerning the practices of yoga or any act of worship which people do it as an exercise, it is not permissible for a Muslim to practice it. The Prophet ﷺ said in the sound hadith, which is narrated by Amr ibn Absah, may Allah be pleased with him, he said, صَلِّ صَلَاةَ الصُّبْحِ ثُمَّ أَقْصَرْ. Pray the Fajr prayer, Subh is Fajr prayer, then cease from the prayer. Do not pray any nawafil, do not pray any voluntary prayers. حتى تطلع الشمس, until sunrise. فإنها تطلع بين قرني الشيطان, because the sun rises between the two horns of Satan. The sun does not want to do that, but the Satan comes in front of the sun, and his horns, we have not seen the shaitan, but this is what the Prophet ﷺ have informed us about what happens on every single day. So those who worship him will prostrate themselves and worship during this time. So because there is a practice of worship and bowing down during this time, the Prophet ﷺ said, do not worship during this time any voluntary worship. If I sit by myself in contemplation for an hour, this hour does not suit the timing that the yoga practices or coaches assign you to offer this exercise during this time, because this time is an act of worship. So if I do any exercise and I alternate with other exercises which are not part of the yoga act of worship or spiritual healing, then it is permissible. Furthermore, when you say, you acknowledge that they say certain chantation and you want to leave before that, you attended a service. You've attended a service. And this service is relating to invoking other than Allah, the Almighty, the Creator. So you're not allowed to be a part of that. Barakallahu fiki. I think we ran out of time, and we're satisfied with that, inshallah, for this episode and this week as well. I hope to see you, inshallah, tomorrow during Gardens of the Pious. And until then, brothers and sisters, I leave you all in the care of Allah, and I seek Allah's help and forgiveness for any shortcoming or any errors. May Allah guide us what is best. أقول قولي هذا وأستغفر الله لي ولكم وصلى الله على سيدنا محمد وعلى آله وصحبه وسلم والسلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته.
Your mercy is what I beseech. Keep in my heart your remembrance, and in your deen alone